Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amy. This is a channel about cross stitch. You're gonna see my pajamas right now, so don't mind that. So yeah, today we're just gonna be doing a stitch with me WIP chat because we haven't done one of these in quite some time. At least for me it seems that way, and I just hope I'm gonna record for a few minutes and hope that you guys are in frame, and then check out my footage and see, because this is a different angle for me. Normally I have you guys on the my right side, and this time I have you guys on my left side. So you can see here we've had some progress since my last floss tube. This video, I'm going to try to get this video up today. I always say that and then I never do it. So we're working on Sam Hain. Hopefully you guys can see that. He's the second to last box that I need to complete. I have him, and then I have to finish down here, which I think is Hannibaletta. So we're gonna get started. I don't even have my needle loaded, so I'm gonna have to push this back for a second. My husband put all kinds of junk on my desk that does not belong here. Let me leave that there because I gotta make some phone calls after this. Yes. Okay, so like I said, this is gonna be super zoomed in, and I just hope that I can stay in frame long enough. All right, so yesterday I started on the pillars here for Sam Hain, and no, I still have not done my nails. I don't know what is wrong with me at this point. I think my daughter stole my polish, and I need to get out a new thing. So I started the pillar and I started coming across. This was all one strand of 310. So I think now I'm gonna go in with one of the orange. I kind of want to work this way because there's a lot of little details in this box. I don't know if you guys can see the whole thing, but there's a lot of little things in here. I'm hoping that I can finish this today, but I honestly don't see that happening because I also have like 2 assignments that I need to do today. That's not the right. And I don't know how long those are gonna take. I am really beginning to loathe this semester. It's just, it's 2 of the classes that I'm taking. So I took my classes because I had a group of girls that we liked to work together, and we'd heard that there was going to be the possibility of having to work in groups for the next semester, which this was last fall, for this upcoming semester, which was, I'm still threading my needle, guys. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to recheck the positioning again so that I can get this threaded. We'd heard that there was going to be group work, and we didn't know, we wanted to make sure that we were going to be, it's not that we wanted to make sure we were going to be put together, but we'd already knew like how each other worked. We knew, you know, each other's kind of functionality as a group and everything, and so we wanted to kind of try to get together. So we all took the same classes, and I regret it every single day because I just am not happy with the classes that I took this semester. They are much, I mean, it's not that, okay, classes are hard, we know that. I'm trying to position some stuff here, so I'm sorry if it's kind of wonky. Classes are hard, we know that. We know that they're hard. If college was easy, then everybody would do it, right? But there are also classes that I normally wouldn't have taken as part of my degree. And so this semester I was very careful about what classes I took because I know that my hand is going to be in the way, and I'm so sorry about that, you guys, but this is honestly the best angle to make it work. But anyway, yeah, it's not classes I would have normally taken for my degree, and so it's a lot of extra work. And then 2, what sucks is you have to do like so many credits of college, and not college, so many credits of electives. And I'm the type of person who, if I'm taking something, it's because it's relevant, and I can use it later. And I feel like electives are a complete waste of time. I understand that, like, some of the reasoning that they do it is to make sure that, like, you're going to, I'm going to try switching hands, see if that works for you guys, to make sure that, like, the degree that you're going for is going to be, like, the one, and that you're not going to change your mind, and things like that. Because a lot of people take other, I can't mark like that, you guys, I'm sorry. A lot of people take other classes and then, like, decide, oh, I want to have a minor in such and such class because I took it and it was amazing, and that's fine. But it kind of, like, it's just, to me, it's pointless. So right now I'm taking a sociology class, which isn't, it's not pointless, but it applies a lot of aspects that I normally don't believe that I would need anyway. I mean, I guess I should say never, but, and then I'm also taking a counseling class, which is actually a very good class. I'm pretty impressed with that. But I also have had to take research classes, and I'm one of those people who, it's not that I don't like research, it's just that more so, like, the teacher that I have an did I mess up? Yeah, I skipped a stitch. The teacher that I have this semester, it's like, oh, you have to design your own research project. Okay, no big deal. And then you present her with all of the ideas, and she's like, no, how about we try doing it this way? And then you come up with something else, and she's like, no, let's do it this way. You modify it again, and she says, no, still not quite right. Let's just do it this way. She's one of those, I hope you guys can't hear my son. I don't know what he's doing. She's one of those that will keep trying to get you to change your mind, until you eventually do it how she wants you to do it. And it's very frustrating because, I don't know, like, I had to redo a whole entire assignment because she told us, okay, so school got canceled and we didn't get to run our experiments, right? Because that had to be in person. And so she told us, write your results section of your research paper as if you got the results that you were looking for. So that's what we did. We're doing our drafts still right now. So I wrote up my drafts in that manner. And I said that the results for our research experiment supported the hypothesis that we had. And she ended up, which we didn't know that she was going to recreate all of our data, like make it up. So a couple of weeks ago, she had us, I need to cut a thread that's back here. A couple of weeks ago, she had us make mock data that supported or didn't support our hypothesis. So I came up with my mock data that supported my hypothesis, and she ended up recreating everybody's data sets to be something different. So when we got our data set back, again, we didn't know that she was going to be doing this. For the assignment for the next week, she gave us all the spreadsheets, and she said, here's a couple of different results. Everybody had 2 different results, because again, we're working in groups, and even though we're not able to see each other in person, we still able to communicate. Like, we have like this group tab on the online platform for the school. And so we were like, well, okay. So I was looking at all of her data, and she said there's 2 different results. One of the results is significant, one of the results is not significant. But the data was almost identical for, oops, I messed that stitch up, for both of the data sets that she gave us. There was like a 0.2 difference in each one. And honestly, in data, that 0.2 difference can, means whether it was significant or not significant because the results are so small. But they all stated the opposite, that they did not support my hypothesis. And I was like, what the fuck is this? So I sent her an email and I told her, I was like, do I have to rewrite my entire paper? Because my data does not support, like the data you sent me does not support what I based my entire paper on thus far. And she didn't even answer my question. She was like, oh, the data this and the data that and da 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 da, statistics this and statistics that. And I was like, that was not my freaking question, lady. I said, do I need to change my whole entire research paper to support the data set that you supplied us and not the data that we came up with? Like, she's just one of those teachers that tells you that you're doing it, but you have to do it her way. It makes no freaking sense at all, and it's very, very frustrating. I am just very glad. Well, we don't have a final in her class first. It's a research paper, which is fine by me because I score better on papers than I do on actual tests. But I'm just glad that I only have, what, like 2 more weeks of these classes, and I am freaking done. This year, I went into this semester as a junior because I needed, like, I don't know, 5 credits or something to be a senior. So I'll be going into the fall semester as a senior. Thank God, because I just cannot. My school's also considering doing next semester all online, which is, I kind of am all for it, and then kind of not at the same time. I don't know. You guys, I need to get out. I so look forward to my kids going to school. I look forward to myself just going out and being on campus. I totally don't mind doing online classes. I did almost my entire associate's degree online, and I'm totally not even a people person. I'm an introvert. But not being able to be like, oh, I need to stop at Hobby Lobby real quick, or at least like going and grabbing lunch with somebody. I just can't. I'm not a helicopter parent. I've told you guys this before. I love my kids, don't get me wrong. I love spending time with my kids. We like doing things together. That does not mean that I want to be with them 24/7. Even my husband, the same exact way. I don't want to be with him 24/7. Hell no. I know I'm not the only person who feels that way. I hope that you guys weren't blurry that entire time, because I just checked to make sure that I was still in frame and it was blurry. So that was like a weird angle, but honestly, I think it might work. I think it just might work. If I can get my Q step to stay still like I am today, and then I can stitch in here. I like to stitch in here. This is my office on days like this, because the kids are kind of like in and out of the kitchen and stuff, and the dogs make a lot of noise and the cats make a lot of noise, and I know my hand is in the way, but you guys can still see the stitches. I'm trying to like move it out of the way after the stitch so you guys can see like what stitch I'm still laying down. So anyway, enough about that bullshit. How's everybody doing? I haven't drawn winners for, what did I give away last? I don't think I did another giveaway for diamond paintings. I still have the Ocean Moon painting that I haven't sent out yet because I just haven't been sending stuff out as much. I've been getting this one post lady who I do a package pickup, and then she called me and was like, oh, I can't pick up your packages because there's no tape on them. I'm like, what? So I told her, like, just take them. I told her I've never had any problems before. There is tape on them, but she was complaining that I didn't put any tape over the label with the tracking number. And I told her, well, so she didn't pick them up. So I scheduled another pickup for the next day, and I had them out there. I didn't put tape because nobody's ever complained about the labels before. Because when I lived in Colorado, I used to put tape on the labels because I didn't actually use labels. I would just print them out on regular paper and tape them over the package. Well, once, you know, my business got a little bit bigger, I was able to actually afford the actual labels to print on, where, you know, you just print it and peel it off the paper and stick it to the box. So that's what I've been doing for years now. And when I was in Colorado, they would complain that you weren't supposed to put tape over the barcode because it would mess with the ability to read the code on there so that they could properly scan it in to track it. And so I would put tape over the whole thing, but I'd leave the barcode part clear of tape, no tape on it. And so I just stopped doing that, especially since I started getting the stickers. Like, why do I need tape? And so I scheduled the pickup again. She knocked on my freaking door. Okay, I mean, it wasn't like, oops, my needle came unthreaded. No, it wasn't like ridiculously early or anything like that, but I wasn't ready for it. So she was like knocking on the door, and I told myself, like, what the fuck? Like, I'm not expecting any packages. Like, did she drop something off or what? So I didn't answer it right away. And so I decided to go look out the window and see, we were busy. I can't remember what we were doing that I just couldn't answer the door like right that second. And so I really need to get a needle threader. I don't know, the past 2 days I have been having such a hard time threading my needle. Anyway, so I still can't get, there we go. Answered the door, and she's still standing there, standing over my packages, and she's like, ma'am, I really need you to put tape on these boxes. And I told her, what do you mean? Like, I said, there's nothing wrong with the boxes. And she's like, oh, you need to put tape over the label. And I told her, well, I was always told not to put tape over the label because it prevents your guys' scanner from being able to read the tracking number. And she was like, no, she's like, you have to put tape on these because we've had too many incidences where people are the labels are falling off and they're not able to be shipped and they don't know where it came from and blah blah blah. So it's just like playing thread chicken right now, you guys, sorry. So I was like, well, what can I do? I literally have 2 stitches. I'd hate to pull a whole freaking thread for 2 stitches. So I think I'm going to leave those, and then when I do the other side, I will add those. So anyway, long story long, I put the freaking tape on the stitches. And the stitches, gosh, I can't even freaking think straight. I put the tape on the packages, and then she took them. But I just can't believe that she was like flat out refusing to take the packages. Like, if the labels fall off, like, that would be my fault and just take the packages and deal with it. But no, she was like, no, you have to put tape. And it's just so strange that, like, the post office workers have, like, their own opinion of how things should be done. And when I first started packaging things, I'm hearing, like, this weird whistling noise. I need to see what it is. And the trash hasn't come yet. You know, it never fails that I'm recording on trash day, right? Anyway, when I first started shipping things from home, like working from home, the postal workers didn't seem to know, like, the rules of what you could and could not ship. And when I first started working from home, I had my own bath and body business, and I was making handmade soap. And at some point I started getting to the point where I wanted to supply fragrance oils, which is like the scent, like how you get the scent in your bars of soap and stuff, to other bath and body makers. And when I started doing that, I made sure that I was complying by all the rules, because you know, when you go to the post office, they ask you if you're mailing anything liquid, fragile, perishable, whatever. Well, fragrance oils can actually combust in high heat, and so you have to comply by it's called a flash point. A lot of them had flash points over 200, which is okay. Some of them were even higher, but some of them had low. I think 200 is a low flash point, if I'm not mistaken, and then like 400 is a high flash point. I can't recall, it's been so long. But if it had a high flash point, then you had it, or I mean a low flash point, then you had to make sure that you shipped it using ground shipping, which meant that it never got sent in the air, because it could combust in the air with the way that the temperature changes are and whatnot. It can get over 200 degrees in the cargo hold, I guess, from my understanding. And so I was doing that, and one day I got all of my packages back, and I called and I told them, like, what the heck is going on? And they're like, oh, we can tell that you have something liquid in there and you can't ship them using your shipping method. And I was like, they're ground shipping, like there's nothing wrong with them. And the couple that I had that were priority, like air shipping or whatever, they still refused to do those. So I had to set an appointment with the postmaster, and she was like, who's like said that you could ship this stuff, blah blah blah. I was like, it's on your website. I was like, do you guys not know like your own rules, like what you can and can't ship? And she's like, print out what you see on the website and bring it to me so that we can investigate it. And that's what I freaking did. And I put them all in their place, all of them, because they didn't know. And after that, they never bothered me again. So it was like crazy that they, like, none of them knew like about shipping. Like they were just telling people like, oh, sorry, you can't ship this, go to UPS. And nobody wants to ship UPS because UPS is a hella expensive. So I just realized that we are 20 some minutes in, and I spent that whole time complaining about everything. But anyway, how's everybody adjusting to homeschooling? Those of you that do have kids, or don't, you know, how are you guys adjusting to staying home or not staying home, working from home? I have kind of let go of holding on to such a strict schedule for my kids as far as homeschooling is going, because it was stressing me out to the freaking max. I couldn't get anything done because I was so worried about them finishing their homework, about everything being done on time, blah 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 blah. Like now, if they skip a day, I'm not stressing out about it. I just, you know, try to do a little bit extra the next day and the next day, so that by the end of the week everything is done. Now my kids are in a little bit better of a routine where they do the work in the morning, and then not kind of worry about it the rest of the day, which is great. But it's still kind of, why is this needle not going in? It's a lot, I'm not gonna lie. And I kind of feel like it's part of the teacher's like situation too. My daughter's a second grade teacher. Going into it, she has like, okay, so there's Seesaw, there's Moby Max, there's iStation, and then all of the YouTube links. She has this calendar, which I think I got rid of it already, that has like all of this stuff on it that we're supposed to be following. And I totally get that we're supposed to be like maintaining our kids' education, but at the same time, I am not the teacher. I have multiple children. I cannot comply with keeping up with that many items on a list for one child. And I kind of think that she was also getting a lot of complaints about it, because she was like that for like 2 weeks, where she was like, no, she absolutely has to be doing these things. And iStation was mandatory. She had to be logging into iStation, and we could not figure out how to log into iStation. And I would tell her like, look, I can't figure this out. I'm threading another needle. And she was like really short about like trying to help me. And I get that she's probably frustrated, but what I was not understanding was like how they could be so overwhelming with the work that they want our children to do when all of this is completely foreign to us. I understand that the teachers are also going through, gosh dang, my kid, going through this huge transition as well. But at the same time, our school district in particular, our school district in particular was already using a lot of those apps for the kids. And I would try to tell her, like, I cannot keep up with all of this. Like, I don't know how to log in. Like, what's the password and what's the code? And she'd be like, oh, you don't need a code. This is how you do it. And I told her, I understand that, but what you're not understanding is that I have to log out to log my other kid in, and then I have to re-enter all of the login credentials. And there's a certain way that they would give you the login credentials, and they were only good for an hour. And they expect you to be able to leave that child logged in to that account, and I couldn't do that. I told her, look, I've got 2 computers between 4 people that need to be shared. I said, they need to be switching between accounts constantly in order to each do their homework, and I can't be going through this every time. And she was like, oh, sorry, like, it works for me. And I told her, I said, so, like, how am I supposed to make sure that she's turning in all her work? And she completely, like, blew me off and ignored me. And I told her, I sent her a message, like, a little while later, and told her, look, I'm sorry. I said, I don't know what it is that's going to be required, what's not. I said, I'm having her do her daily 5, which is this list of 5 things that they have to do. One of those 5 things every day for 15 to 20 minutes. I told her, when you post your spelling words on Seesaw, we're going over the spelling words, and we're trying to get the homework done on Seesaw. But I told her, I'm sorry, but I said, you're providing links based off of the assumption that everybody has access to the links, and I just cannot get to your links, as I've previously stated. And she was, like, really hardcore about it, because she was posting, like, pictures of the links in the calendar, and you can't click on a picture with a hyperlink. Like, that's just stupid. You have to actually have it linked in order for the link to work. And she just wasn't understanding that for some reason. And she's like, well, it works on my device, so I don't know what to tell you. And I was like, you know what? I said, okay. I told her, my daughter can do her daily 5. She can do her Seesaw activities that are posted in the feed, and she can do her spelling words. But outside of that, I told her she's not going to get any of the work done. I said, I can't do it. It's impossible, the structure that you're providing it to us in, and I'm sorry, but we can't. And I think that she got other complaints, because the following week she changed everything from mandatory to what is it? Not like retention, but from mandatory to like recommended. And so now all the things that I was able to do, that I was able to get my daughter into, she's basically told all of the students, as long as they can maintain status on those things, then that should be fine. It's just to keep them in a good balance, so that they can go into 1st grade remembering as much as they possibly could. And so it was still just super frustrating that I went back and forth with her for like almost 2 weeks, that her method of doing things just wasn't working. And she was constantly posting these like Google Drive links. And I told her, like, is it possible that you can just put all, if you're going to post a Google Drive link, is it possible that you can just post them all in like one thing, so I can save it to my computer and be able to like print it out for her? It's like, it's just not working. And she's like, no, that's too much work for me. And I'm like, lady, it's too much work for you, but yet you expect me to maintain 4 different apps and websites for one child, when I also have a middle schooler who's learning how to use Google Classroom, and also a kindergartner who has to do the same activities in Seesaw and iStation and Zoom and all of this stuff. And I was missing out on important schoolwork for myself, because I was so concerned about making sure that my kids were in the right Zoom meeting, that they were on the right website, that they were doing the right spelling words and doing the right assignments on Seesaw. It was a really big mess. But honestly, I let it all go. I talked to some of the other teachers and just made sure that I got what was going to be absolutely like a deal breaker for passing on to the next grade, and that was it. My kids did not attend any of the Zoom meetings last week, and I honestly don't feel bad about it, because it is. What do you want me to do? You know, what am I going to say? It is what it is. I'm going to park this white right here because it kind of jumps over here, and I don't like skipping over that many spaces because I mess up. Anywho, I hope that this stitch with me was insightful. Even though I just ranted the whole entire time. I'm probably gonna have another cup of coffee, and then I gotta log in and try to get my homework done. I'm gonna try to just do it so that at 11 o'clock I'm not like a zombie trying to complete it. Anyhow, that's my progress for these bitchy 30 minutes. Okay, you guys, I'm gonna edit this real quick, try to get some homework done, hopefully get this up today, and I hope you guys liked it. I'll see you guys in the next video.